Disaster struck about 4 weeks ago now. We were on our way home one evening when all of a sudden this happens. I almost didn't take Lauren out that night. I mean, I wanted to, and we got ready and we got the bike out, but then she refused to start. It had been 3 weeks since Lauren and I had been out, and because she's got an alarm, her battery had gone flat. So that whole evening, it started with a jump start. A successful jump start, I will add. But nonetheless, it's not exactly the way you want to start an evening, jump starting your bike. And then on the way to bike night, we were testing a new microphone, because the previous week I'd been out filming. I'd gone down to Dartmouth and Blackpool Sands and beyond, and little did I know that there I am, happily riding, happily filming, and I didn't know until I got home that the mic was knackered and crackling and popping, etc. Edward's Fudge Kitchen. Don't give the man any ideas. So I had to quickly order a new microphone and, well, set about testing it really. So this is me testing out a new microphone, exactly the same as the old one. I don't know if the problem was the microphone or whether it was one of the 2 adapters that you have to run to get a lavalier mic to work with a GoPro Hero 8. You need 2 adapters, so it could be the camera, could be one of either of the 2 adapters, or it could be the mic. But then I've had this set up since I started the channel over 2 years ago. In fact, I would have bought this setup close to 3 years ago now, because of course I did quite a bit of testing of the equipment, etc. before I actually started filming. So it's entirely possible that this microphone is about 3 years old, and so I can't complain if it has pooped out after 3 years. So I figured, what better way to test out a new microphone than to test it on the way to paint and bike night. Now of course I won't know if this mic is working properly until I get home and check the footage. Got something crawling on my visor. Not nice. So yeah, it'll be a few hours before I find out if this new mic has done the job. And when we got to bike night that night, oddly, they sent us left. Every other time I've been to bike night, they've sent us right. You know, we always park down that right hand side. And although it didn't make sense whilst I was parking up just why they'd sent us left, once you actually saw the height of the tide coupled with the rather high winds, and you saw just how much seawater and sand and crap was being thrown out of the sea directly onto exactly where we would normally be parking our bikes, then it made sense. I think the organisers had started by parking bikes in the normal place, and a couple of dozen bikes had parked up, but gradually, certainly almost as soon as we got there, all these bikers started moving. They started moving their bikes to where everybody else was parked, and yeah, you can see why. Despite the wind and the disruption it had caused to bike night, it was still a good bike night, and we did still venture out onto a milkshake run. And it's interesting, whilst I was at the milk shed, I was talking to a guy called James and a guy called Dan, and we were talking about Lyme Regis, West Bay, Portland Bill, and talking about how we should get out and do that ride next year. And naturally I'm thinking, I'm going to take my big bike, I'm going to take Larren. I mean, I'd love to take Rafiki here. I'll take either of my bikes anywhere. But given the distance, it would just be easier to take the big bike. Big bikes do make some things a lot easier. So in my head I'm thinking, yes, I'll take the big bike for that. And then on the way home, it's so funny. It had only been a couple of weeks previous that I was talking to a guy called Jeremy about Larren and about her radiator, and how, because she's been in an accident before, her radiator actually has a big whopping great dent in it, and some of the fins, some of the radiator fins had started to, well, corrode. You know, when they turn to dust, that's kind of how her radiator was starting to look. So I'd said to Jeremy, I really do need to replace the radiator on my big bike. And that had only been 5 days previous. Like, this journey with Larren was the very next time I took that bike out after having that conversation with Jeremy. Yeah, and then this happens. Okay, so I don't know how much of this is recording because my GoPro isn't set to nighttime mode. I don't know what's up with my bike. It feels fine, sounds fine, still got the right amount of power, etc. But I'm sure, back at Pen Inn then, I'm sure my bike was smoking. Temperature looks good. That was completely the wrong gear. Can't you tell that I'm somewhat preoccupied? I actually thought we were on fire. When I saw all that smoke, which may have been steam and smoke, I actually thought we were on fire. And once I realised, no, we're not on fire, and, you know, everything seems okay, I needed to get off that roundabout for a start. So I proceeded to get off that roundabout, and then I was just constantly checking everything on the bike, making sure that we really aren't on fire. You know, we weren't overheating, the bike still felt normal, still had the same power, was riding properly, engine felt normal, gears felt normal, everything felt normal. But of course I was very concerned as to what all that smoke was. So at this point I'm thinking, it's possible that I've ridden through something which has splashed up onto my exhaust downpipe, and it's just burning off the downpipe. You know, maybe that smoke, maybe it's not us, maybe there's not actually anything wrong with Larren. In hindsight, that was just wishful thinking. But you know, you've got to stay positive, haven't you? It was entirely possible that it wasn't anything wrong with the bike, and it was just I'd ridden through a puddle that had some oil in it and it was burning off on the exhaust. That was my wishful thinking. But the bike felt fine, so we pressed on to try and make it home. And we did eventually make it home without any further incident. Made it all the way back home. The bike still wasn't overheating, still felt normal, everything felt fine. But it was once we got home that we realised exactly what was going on. Yes, her radiator, the radiator that I wanted to replace that I hadn't gotten around to yet, the radiator had finally let go. So we now have this nice new shiny full aluminium radiator that we need to get fitted to Larren, and then hopefully we can get her back on the road.